So the first thing to understand is if I eat a high carbohydrate meal, so if I'm eating foods that are packaged, boxed, or labeled that contains a high amount of either sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or foods that are made predominantly out of grains that have been milled and processed into processed foods, I'm going to get a significant rise in carbohydrate content, and I'm going to have a significant rise in my glucose. So when I eat those foods, I'm going to have a significant rise in insulin, which insulin's job, it's a hormone made by the pancreas, and its job is to pick up glucose, your blood sugar, and take it to the cells to get burned, or take it for storage to the fat cells. So when I eat a high-protein, low-carb diet, essentially the first step of what's happening is I'm reducing the carbohydrates available to the bloodstream, which means I'm going to reduce insulin. And I can tell you in the short term, that does help lower insulin. So if I have insulin resistance, meaning I'm producing more insulin than what's necessary to lower my blood sugar and control it, because my cells have become somewhat immune to it or not listening to the insulin anymore, then I'm going to actually, in the short term, have a reduction in carbohydrate content, a reduction in insulin, but a reduction also in my glucose storage as fat, because it's kind of like a radio dial. We can spend 70% of our calories that are carbohydrate content and burn them as fuel. But as we become more insulin resistant, what happens is that fuel then becomes fat. So insulin's main job is to put it away and store it. So I tell people all the time, if you're planning on eating a Krispy Kreme, you better be running with it, because the body, in the absence of need, when we have insulin coming up, it's going to take that glucose and it is going to store it as fat.